We're live? You stopped at 4. I thought we were going to get it together this time. Let's be pros. All right, here we are, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Justin Glanville. This is Live and Breathing's Artist Picks. And our artist today, who has picked the videos once again, same as last week, is the amazing Sam Quinn.
Justin, it's great to be back here on set with you at Artist Picks liveandbreathing.com. What you're looking good today. I noticed that you have a nice contrast between your shirt and the chair this week.
Yeah, I wanted to make it pop. I wanted to make myself pop.
Color you popped.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. It's 45 or so here in Knoxville, Tennessee, where we're broadcasting from. It wasn't cold last night. And so, last week we were doing this as a 3-piece. This week we have doubled in size. And so I have been jabbering ad nauseum with everyone here since I've arrived. And this is strangely calming to be here now doing this.
I felt like my mind was racing until the countdown, and now I feel pretty at ease.
The world slows down, It's like that. What is that? You know that REO Speedwagon song, where it's just cliches after cliches.
I'm familiar.
All right, it's like that. We
don't have a video for that one.
I know they didn't sign off on the waiver.
No, they didn't.
My dad says Rio Speedwagon.
Wow. You'd think that would be more common.
You would think that it would be more common because that's the car.
Yeah.
But
well, if your dad said, I'm sticking to it.
Me too. And Dad, if you're out there watching, I would be surprised. I really would. I have no idea how he would be watching it. But I promise if you are, Dad, if you're watching, I will get in contact with you as soon as the broadcast is over to talk about this chimney flue camera steel measuring tape.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's real. So everybody, he's safe. There's just a problem with the chimney, and, I'm thankful to be anywhere, but, any world that I'm welcome to is better than the one that I came from. And I'm in good graces with him, and so it's all going to be great. We're going to talk about the chimney. We're going to get him fixed up. Yeah, it'll be just one extra visit with Poopsie, before the visit with Poopsie here, and we're coming to you from what's the day, the 17th?
18th. Yesterday was my anniversary.
Golly, how do you feel?
I feel amazing.
You look great.
Thanks. You do too.
Thanks, bud.
I've been telling everybody lately I've never been happier, and it's very true.
Dang, man.
I'm more tired than I've ever been because we have a 3-month-old, and we also have a puppy that we picked up about a week ago. So the middle of the night is not for rest for adults anymore. That's the way that goes. I also want to touch on back to your father's issues. I think that a lot of people, as the season, have flu problems.
It's going around.
Yeah. Do we want to go just hop to the first video?
Let's. I put my hop shoes on.
All right. I'm going to tee it up if you want to knock it home. Okay. These are some old dear friends. The band is called Truth and Salvage Co., and they know how to mess around with some gasoline. They're all from different areas. When I asked them where they're from, they just replied, continental U.S. is what they're saying nowadays. And I guess that is very accurate. But we have a bunch of videos at a bunch of different locations with these guys. But I feel like we're picking up kind of where we left off with Dudes in the Shower from last episode.
Right, back to this segment, Dudes in the Shower. This is from New Year's Eve 2010 from the Asheville Civic Center.
That's correct.
And this is Truth and Salvage Co. with Pure Mountain Angel.
Oh, the harmonies. Please enjoy.
Right here on Live and Breathing Artist Picks.
Boy, he was a drifter, a pure mountain angel. feel like a stranger. Way back in the holler, the old folks are home singing, Heidi, hey, let the walls tumble in. Won't you take me back, Sally? I'll sing it again, singing, Heidi, hey, let the walls tumble in. Won't you take me back south? I'll sing it again. Oh, he was a drifter, a farmer and a singer. He had stories to tell, but he kept them to himself, 'cause he knew that nobody would understand the anger. He has for this living of concrete and wealth, singing, Heidi, hey, let the walls tumble in. Won't you take me back, Sally? I'll sing it again, singing, Heidi, hey, let the walls tumble in. Won't you take me back south? I'll sing it again. He can hear the thunder start soft like a whisper, then shatter the mountainside. The sky was black as winter, trees began to splinter when scattered them far and wide. He'll make it back home alive. 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 Singing, Heidi, hey, let the walls tumble in. Won't you take me back south? I'll sing it again, singing, Heidi, hey, let the walls tumble in. Won't you take me back south? I'll sing it again, singing, Heidi, hey, let the walls tumble in. Won't you take me back south? I'll sing it again, singing, Heidi, hey, let the walls tumble in. Won't you take me back south? I'll sing it again. Won't you take me back south? I'll sing it again. Won't you take me back south? I'll sing it again. Oh, he was a drifter, a pure mountain angel.
Man, okay, the harmonies there at the end, absolutely incredible. The power, I remember being just outside that shower, and the power coming out was incredible. I must also say, let me give a full picture of why they're in the shower. So for that New Year's Eve show that I worked for the Avett Brothers, and we were the headliner, and we had three amazing openers: Low Anthem, Dave Mayfield Parade, and Truth and Salvage Co.
Ooh.
And so we have a session of each of the aforementioned bands doing one or two songs in that shower, and that was their warm up right before they went onto stage.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, they walked out of there, went on stage, and crushed it as they do. And I thought it was amazing. That's what I got.
Where are those guys from? Do you know?
Truth and Salvage Co.
Yes.
Well, they used to say from what did they say? L.A. by way of North Carolina, and then I think they all went to Nashville, and now I think that they fanned back out, so they say the continental U.S.
Huh.
Is that right? Continental U.S. Yeah, southern the 48.
Sure, contiguous United States. If you're down with the Websters, yeah. The Animal Collective. I don't know if they live on. I don't think any of them live on the same continent.
How do you rehearse?
That poses a very good question.
I mean, is it well? Okay.
Do you remember the Postal Service, that band?
Yes.
I think that they made that record. I don't think they actually used the Postal Service, but I think they, calling it email chummery is probably not a catchy name. But I think that they
not
did
spam.
not spam. Yeah, IRS. What is it? FBI surveillance truck Wi-Fi. You ever see that? It's like, no, it's not. But they would. I think they made that record all through just sending stuff back and forth. I don't think they were in rooms at the same time. I mean, like now, like who knows? Like ever since.
I think that's common-ish now.
We're coming to you from 2023, so when I say a few years ago, just play along. But I mean, ever since a few years ago, all the things that can happen, There are people like doing live videos with everybody just playing music in front of their laptops.
I think that if the tempo is slow enough, they'd totally pull it off with bandwidth these days.
But I don't know. I mean, Animal Collective seem like they know their way around some laptops.
You kind of reminded me of one of the first things that I saw that made me want to start Live and Breathing, and there's this video collection or this of this project called One Giant Leap, and it was kind of when the ability to travel around the world with audio recording and video recording devices that were quality, that you could do multiple microphones. And so that's what they do. They get like drums in Africa, go to India, get sitar, and just travel everywhere. And they have different writers and philosophers and all these kind of things. So there aren't really lyrics to the songs, but they all have really big. There's one about love, one about aggression. I can't remember all the different ones, but I watched that and thought how cool it was to pull all these different sounds from around the world and capture video and present these huge themes of life. And that just made me think how cool it is to be able to travel and record video and audio where it's being made, as opposed to like you go to the studio and that's you go to the studio to make a record or to do these recording things. And it was the first time that I'd realized or seen this whole thing was based without a studio in mind. And that I think that's just amazing. I haven't watched it in a very long time. I hope I got some of the facts I tried to present correct there.
And like, why wouldn't like this is where music is already happening, and this is where these things are already happening, and like, so why not record it where it happens?
Yeah,
I was talking with Jess and Daniel earlier about all the places bands take band photographs.
Yeah,
like this is where we practice, and it's like we're a bluegrass band from Southwest Virginia. We wear real tree vests, and we always rehearse on these ice floes.
Yeah, or these train tracks.
Oftentimes train tracks. There's a lot to be said for a good old-fashioned couch.
Yeah.
Like why not?
A couch in the woods or a couch. The couch is never where it's supposed to be.
Couch on fire. But like going where music happens, and because that's where it happens. Like studios are where people go to clam up. It's like hey, I brought all this stuff. Let's just let's raw dog it here in the shower and just like see what happens. But and then you get stuff like Truth and Salvage, and it's like, hey, we have all this stuff set up. Do you guys want to come do this? And it's like, sure. And just like time and place, like, and a lot of times when you're just out playing shows and shows and shows, I was like, how was your summer? It's like, I have no idea. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's over. I'm tired. I have the date tattooed on my neck. That was a good idea at one point. But, but when you do drop in and you have things like that, like it's with like proof that you did something. It's like, I was somewhere and it's like, here's a recording of this, It's that was what? Almost 14 years ago in a shower.
I thought we were going to talk too much about time.
Right. And we're coming to you from 2023, which was 14 years ago almost.
Pure ginger at that time.
Pure ginger. Ginger explosion.
Yeah.
Next topic. Time flies, period.
Yeah.
We've had some fun.
Had a lot of fun.
And
we still do.
Enemies thwarted. Opportunities vested. Let's get back. Let's talk about the music. Bristol Rhythm and Roots reunion. L.C. King building.
Yes.
I don't know of this next band outside of the Live and Breathing video from that session.
I'm going to second that. And like we talked about last time, and it happens in this one a bunch, this video escaped my radar, and then in watching it, I was looking at all the gear that they have and thinking about being on the second story and getting all that upstairs to make this happen. Just wants me again to thank all of the artists who have given us their time, because they didn't have to do that. They didn't have to lug all that up the stairs, and I think there's a small elevator that none of that all would not have fit in. So
right.
The effort, sweat, and tears that people put into joining us.
Thank you. They could have just been lollygagging and drinking draft beer instead of doing this. It's like, well, let's make something. Let's get up today and be somebody. Let's go record something.
Let's do it.
So, just to people who woke up in the morning and decided to be someone and do a Live and Breathing session at the L.C. King building. What year is this from?
2014. And this band is from Brooklyn, New York. One thing in watching this video, I loved all the instruments. I've already spoken the gear, but I think that there's some really cool instruments in this video, and the bass player, his bass, and the tone and everything, really stood out to me. I just thought it was pretty rad.
Agreed, man.
Is that the intro to this video?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do a little. What is the name of the song? I get so lost in just into the lush and creamy tones that I've spaced on titles.
Shut You Down.
Agreed. Caveman, Shut You Down.
Caveman, Shut You Down.
Live and Breathing. Artist picks.
Artist. He picked them.
Fact.
Fading, I'll wait it out. I'll have to shut you down to let you know that it's just easier to say I'm wrong. I'm wearing my patience out. I'll have to shut you down to let you know that it's just easier to say I'm wrong. Shut you down to let
That's where you say the songs that we just played, and then like who did it, and it's like in that order.
Okay.
In that order. Welcome back to Live and Breathing Artist Picks.
Artist Picks.
I'm Samuel, and this is my friend Justin Glanville. We have met. Would you say that's fair? We've met.
I don't know how many times we've met. It's not enough, and it's too many at the same time.
Hello, my name's Samuel, and this is my friend Justin. One of the greatest days of my life was at Bonnaroo with this guy.
I meant to ask you about how much of this story I could tell.
Let's keep it above the whatever.
Okay, I can't say all the good stuff then.
It was
the greatest day.
Easily. So we've met.
We met on that plane.
That's fair. A great day. I love you, by the way.
I love you.
Nothing but.
And I love everybody tuning in. Oh, speaking of that, I want Pitsy. I'm sorry. I need glasses. I don't have them. Pitstucky. I'm sorry. I'm sure that my 9-year-old would love to know and correct me. I don't know what IPTF means. I'm going to need that one broken down for me.
Yeah,
but I appreciate it.
I also have a walker.
Paul, shower power, you're correct. And this next one, Melanie, this inspired me to ask you a question, and I kind of want you to hit me back with the same question. We can't go too far into this because, as we both know, we get lost in conversation. But
Lord,
today,
we have met.
Today, right now, what is your favorite bird?
Ooh, I was thinking this morning about birds I've seen this year that I have not seen before. And if you're into this bird thing, those are called life birds. And it doesn't matter if you list or you don't list. But I would say some of the most interesting birds that I've seen this year would be, I had my very first glimpse at a Lewis woodpecker, and I had a look at an acorn woodpecker, both out west this year. And those would probably be really hot. But I'm also reading this book about this quest for it's called the Grail bird, and I don't work for this book or this author or the Cornell Lab of Ornithology, but it's the quest for the ivory-billed woodpecker, and most people believe it to be extinct, and like the last reported sightings in 1944, I think. But anyway, people want to believe, and people want to believe whatever they want to believe, and like facts rarely come into play with what people want to believe. But
Agreed.
Anyway, I would say Lewis woodpecker. I had a great look at one, or at several. There's some birds are rare, and some birds are just not where you are. And if you go to where the birds are, surprise, surprise. Justin, what about you?
This one is pretty consistent. I asked you a question. It is always the same for me, because I can never stop watching wrens. I have little cubbies set up all around my house. In the studio here, places that I know because they're such crafty little clever, make a nest in any little clever spot that you can give them. They're going to find it and make a nest.
That's true.
And right now, outside of my basement window, I have covered up the view to my bird feeder with a stack of wood, which is something else we could talk about, chopping wood and how to stack it and that sort of thing. But let's not go there at the moment. But these wrens, they have a nest and a hanging plant above the stack of wood, and so I get to watch them hop in and out of the stacks of wood with their little tails flickering and a little stripe, and they just bring. I mean, I love watching any bird, but watching them is so much fun, and I think that if I was a bird, that would be me. I think I've also thought life changes, and I guess your spirit bird changes, but as far as a fun, playful, curious bird, that feels pretty consistently me. I wanted to be an albatross for a while.
I thought for a long time, like you said, it does move, it does change, as does life, but making like all-time top 5 non-committal lists for everything, and that changes, and that's why it's non-committal all time. Like, you're serious, like right now, that's what I want,
Yep.
But and it would change, and I get so hung up on if I were a bird, and so when I started with If I Were a Bird years ago, it would always have to meet the 3 places because I would want land, air, and water. you know, and you know what I mean? Like,
That makes me think of the cormorant.
totally, yeah. And but
Flying
you know, like,
underwater.
why do you need it all? Why do you need it all? That's just. And then I get back and it's like, if I were to come back as a bird, would my stupid human greed come with it? And like, why do I need all this stuff? So I think
What would you be? Hold on. What would you be? Would that be a blue jay?
See, that's hard to answer in my current state.
Okay.
I would like to throw my hat, universe, if you're watching, just once, just one time, could I come back as a roseate spoonbill? That would be great. I don't even care which one. I've seen a few, but if I could come back as one of them, that'd be great. You like a roseate spoonbill?
Never seen one in person.
Golly, majestic, prehistoric, and just like unfathomable.
Yeah. Don't want to put you on the spot too much. We'll move on from the birds, but
Yeah.
you have some amazing drawing of birds.
Fact.
And if we do this again, perhaps we could bring some of those
I'd
or
love to.
incorporate them.
Right. There's a
I should have thought of that.
that would
before.
still fit underneath the guise of artist pics. You know, we would just like take the K off. It would be like some pics that I drew, so it would still fit.
Sorry, I got distracted by my cousin who just wrote.
Yeah,
And-
there's a
Corey Hack. That's my cousin.
hey Corey Hackett, Justin's cousin.
Yeah.
I've met your cousin, by the way. We have
I've
met.
met quite a few of them, I think.
I was telling your cousin that we have met,
Oh, okay.
which is hello.
Hey.
So we have doubled our numbers. We're no longer the three amigos. We're the three amigos augmented. We're rolling at least 100% larger crew today, and we have had some fact checking on the last video from Caveman, and we have come to learn that all, some, or part of their instruments
That's right.
were made by was it Cobra Carbonetti? Is that one of the guys in the group?
Carbonetti. And I think that it's interesting that stood out to me, and I guess I was also told this needs to be fact checked also. I think, I don't know, that maybe they built their amps, or that all of the amps in there that I mentioned before, there's you can't just go to your Target and buy them.
But you can get Donkey's merchandise at Target. That has been pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no!
The many things you can do with a pickup truck. Well, what do you say we hop back into some tunes here?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Where are we going to Pickathon? Do you like this band? I think this band is wild.
This band, yes. You picked a different song. I mean, we spoke about this last week.
We did.
My Dubs was one of the most fun songs I've ever mixed before, trying to get all the ripping guitar where I wanted it to be. But this song, it's the same predicament. I mean, if you want to talk about just absolute slayers all around, but give me some more words.
Let's throw it on and come back and talk about it, just where people have a frame of reference,
Let's
because
do
a
that.
lot of people won't have any idea
That's right.
about this band. If you're just tuning in, this is Live and Breathing, Artist Picks. My name's Samuel,
I'm Justin.
and this is Diarrhea Planet with Ice Age, live from Pickathon, liveandbreathing.com.
Coming from the seat of my pants.
the end of it, I had to replace my shoes. I had to replace my socks. I had to replace my pants. I mean, I had to replace.
Where did you?
We're live. All right.
Well, so now that you have seen what has most currently transpired, that's Diarrhea Planet, and like that's just an onslaught. That's a lot. There's a lot happening in a very small amount of time.
Yes.
The tapping, the over the neck tapping.
If you were to see me do this, you would think that I'm playing the piano, maybe.
I would think you had T-Rex arms, or you were playing a tiny keyboard.
No, it's slaying on the guitar.
Right, slaying on guitar. But yeah, if you, Nick, ladies and gentlemen, are the guy flying the spaceship here over my right shoulder, your left.
Camera left. Yep.
Is Nick Corrigan. Nick, what did that song clock in? 82 seconds. 82 seconds.
Is that their longest song?
Yeah. Coming in with a hot 80 seconds of,
one of their longer songs, I think.
It's like, that's 12 minutes away. I'll be there in 10 minutes. Don't be a...
I like to taste it.
Yeah. Did you see a sign? So anyway, yeah, well, that's unfortunate about what you were just talking about. And I do have several questions, mainly about how you walked from point B back to presumably point A. But anyway, golly, that was at Pickathon. A lot of these are from Pickathon out in...
Portland, Oregon.
Yeah, Portland, Oregon.
Pendarvis Farm.
Uh-huh.
I believe I sang some of their praises last week, which I will happily do anytime because it's an incredible festival. Okay, let me say one more praise that I will sing for them for this festival.
Audible praise.
Coming from somebody who has been to a lot of festivals, mostly in America. They all have their pluses and their minuses, and there's the stages at all of them that are very similar. There's these different size stages that get driven up, folded out, and then any band can fit on them depending on what size or how many you put together and whatnot. The stages at Pickathon stay at Pickathon. They were built at Pickathon, maybe / the main stage, but its surroundings take over everything else about it. Everything there is so unique, and so much effort is put into every aspect of that. Like you think about the wood stage. For the first time ever, a little over a year ago, I visited the Pickathon festival site around this time, which is not festival season, so it was winter time, and saw everything how it is the rest of the year. And the stages are still there, again, aside from the main stage. Went up, saw the pump house, that 9x9 tiny little space.
Does it still smell like pee-pee?
Not
From like everybody who's ever recorded there, just like, well, I'll just step right outside the door and rock a onesie.
No.
Like, and after like 4 days straight, it's like,
after a couple years,
please walk into the woods to do this from now on. And it's like, but just like, that's not talking to me. You're not talking to me. It's like, it's talking to you.
Yeah, we're the crew. We're the ones who are there.
Right.
Well, the final years of us being there, there were some urinals at the bottom of our little trail. So
I think that's pronounced Ernial.
Ernial?
I think so.
It was not mine. It's yours.
I'm not one to tell tales out of school, but today I am. But do you remember at Pickathon when I think it was one of the years they drug a keg up there, or one of the years where it was supplied by the festival?
Perhaps that was the first year of the keg. It became a constant.
But at one point, the morale, although high, was taking a little bit of a hit because it was sessions were going for a long time, late, early.
It's gonna happen.
And so they were feeling. I believe the festival was feeling badly for just like the breakneck schedule that the Live and Breathing was doing, and they brought you guys.
Introducing it to the.
Yeah, they brought up a couple cases of Pedialyte just for you guys, just to.
Do you know what happened in that Pedialyte?
What happened with that Pedialyte?
It became a mixer. We started putting whiskey and Pedialyte the next morning. Not proud of it. I haven't done it since, but it made things better.
Did it have what was this evil burgoo? Did it have a name? Did it have a cocktail?
Ooh, I bet it did have a name. I do not recall it because I may have been the first to say, let's put these together. Let's join forces.
Right. It's like, actually, I'm supposed to be in the line getting out.
To be young again.
To be, well, let's see. What's next? Like it's where are we headed in video land? I love these.
I think that we're going to go to a Knoxville band in Knoxville. At these sessions, we called them the 501 Garage Sessions because dear friend Charles Ellis.
Oh, Chaz.
He's recently moved from this house in this garage where we recorded, and I hear that he's got another amazing space next to his house that hopefully we'll be doing some sessions in the next year or two in. But this was in the garage next to his house. It was a very large garage as far as garages are concerned, and we had a lot of local artists for this session. This band is called Sweet Years. Mm-hmm.
Formerly Zach and Coda's Sweet Life.
That's right.
Remember that? So that was the fun thing, I guess, from the TV show. But anyway, they turned into Sweet Years. Hot band. Guy plays some hot lines on the guitar. John's in this one.
Okay.
Our good buddy Jonathan Keeney right here, South Knoxville's own. Great band.
I'm going to call myself out on something on this. I have messed up his name multiple times.
Let's set the record straight.
And it's because I know another. I didn't grow up. I knew this guy growing up.
Yeah, I didn't either. I'm just taller.
But there's a guitar player named Jason Kinney, and when the second I see John, I call him Jason because I don't have it together, and when I get into these situations where it's like I get overwhelmed with excitement, and then everything in my mind and my mouth start getting jumbled up. I would have to sit alone to take tests in high school because I would get there under the pressure, and I would just I knew I didn't know all the answers. Don't let me pretend that, but I would get a lot of things wrong that I knew just because my nerves would overwhelm me.
Or like I don't know if you do this, but I do this all the time. It's like, oh, well, I'll remember that because it's not in alphabetical order. Do you do stuff like that?
Or of course I left this thing here. This is where I'm going to leave, and I'm going to always remember where this is.
It's like, I'll remember this because it's chrysanthemum, and this starts with an M. And it's like, oh, okay. And it's like, that really, it's like, I'll remember this because hot goes towards the house. Or that way I won't scorch myself, but every time it's like, yeah, hot doesn't go towards the house. And I was supposed to remember that it's hot because it doesn't go towards the house. It's like, when will we stop doing that?
I'm going to say never, and it might be the end of us.
Well, it was a large garage. It's a large flag. It's a regular sized band with human beings. Ladies and gentlemen, it's liveandbreathing.com artist picks. Sweet Years with Swamp Fling here at liveandbreathing.com artist picks.
2017 we did it.
Represent.
Non-existent doesn't exist. I've been living in the swamp. I've been living every day, and now I'm clearly seeing. I've been living day. Now you're over it. Now you're over it. And now you're over it. Yo, yeah, hey. Happy birthday, day. Now you're over it. And now you're over it. And now you're over it. And now you're over it. Stop making your mind up. 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 Stop making your mind up, yeah. Stop making your mind up, yeah. But what's more important? It's got an opinion. Making your mind up. Making it happen. Stop making your mind up, yeah. Stop making your mind up, yeah. Non-existent doesn't exist. I've been living in the swamp. I've been living in the swamp. I've been living in the swamp. I've been living in the
The orange of it. And when I was a kid, they had those sunglasses, and it was he drove that car, you know. So it was funny, but it wasn't. We are back here at liveandbreathing.com artist picks with my main man, Justin Glanville, here by my side, putting yet another log onto the fire to keep us
I do
toasted.
2 logs at a time.
Huh.
Those logs.
Yeah. We get wood from the same people.
That's right.
fact.
The wood people.
Yeah, and our wood people are entered into both of our phones as wood people. You know, like they kind of.
That's when there's not a good tree that's accessible for us to take the chainsaw and
you know,
split
but
or two.
that reminds me of. Have you ever? We're coming to you from 2023. This is December 19th,
18th.
18th. But so we've just come fresh off the heels of Halloween. And Justin, have you ever seen the movie Hellraiser?
I'm familiar with the character, but I have not seen the movie.
Right.
I get scared easy.
I'm gonna get back. So those people they're called. Mike, do you know what those people are called? They're
Mike Sutton on camera, everybody.
represent. Let's see. I forget. Anyway, something. Anyway, not important. Not important to the story. I know that somebody will be like, I can't believe you didn't know that today was National Pancake Awareness Month. You know, like, or somebody will hit me with that. But anyway, so those guys are only like you can't just accidentally fall into Hellraiser realm. Like you have to go through like a protocol, or you just like unlike. Nightmare on Elm Street, or like, just the randomness of Friday the 13th. Like those people, you have to want it, and so you have to go through these systems, or not systems, but these steps to get them to show up. And so it's like this dial, and it's your classic pentagram of salt, and like all this hullabaloo. And anyway, so then like the walls start moving around. And then these, whatever they're called, come and they take you into this world. And so it's like it's explained as pleasure and pain at once. But anyway, so much like, you ever try to grow eggplant at home?
Not yet.
Anyway, so there's this. If you grow eggplant, you'll plant the seeds. They'll come up about this high. You'll put them in the ground, and then all of a sudden, flea beetles will just come from nowhere and just decimate these plants. And so much like these flea beetles and hellraisers, where do flea beetles live before I plant eggplant? What do they feed on? But just as sure as I put an eggplant into the ground, toast it. Just like holes all through the leaves.
Is it
but
diatomaceous earth? Does that do anything?
Chickens, they can.
We talked about this.
Right, and there's two camps on that. But anyway, wood people, they don't exist until you have to call on the wood people, and they will show up, and it's like they will just show up and just start smoking and using foul language, and there's always trash. Whenever they've dumped the wood,
oh my gosh,
there's so much
there was
garbage.
A glove and receipts and a Mountain Dew bottle that was in the
right.
That's so funny.
And and there's beer cans underneath the wood, and I don't care about any of this stuff. People should just live their lives and just not have to live under the guise of fear, and if they're drinking beer, I don't care what they're doing before they get to my house. They're just dropping off wood.
It's a tight knit family.
And but they're always drinking Mountain Dew, and so it's
any hour.
You guys don't have to hide the fact you're pouring Miller Lite into Mountain Dew bottles and drinking it during the daytime. I don't care. And
are you familiar? I don't know if there's a line here. Some people feed their babies Mountain Dew. Have you heard about this?
I've not.
I don't want to offend anybody, but I'm just going to say that it's not really. I don't understand that approach. I think there's other things, but whatever. Don't get me wrong. In my back to the 20s and late teens, when I was into video gaming and whatnot, Mountain Dew was number one on the list to sit there and play video games all night long. I haven't had a Mountain Dew in a very long time. And have you ever had a Sundrop?
Oh, yeah. Sundrop and what's the other? Cheerwine?
Yes.
Those are both from the Cacks, aren't they?
They are.
Golly, North Kakalaka represent with some sody pop.
That's right.
I love
Premium.
that stuff.
Yeah, it's really great.
And it's not. What about Ale 8?
I see it, but I haven't had it.
God, it's going to be Ale 8 one, is what they call it.
Okay.
That's what
That's ginger ale, isn't it? No? I don't know.
It's. You know how Cheerwine gets mad when you compare it to anything?
Okay.
I think Ale 8 is kind of the same way. I think it's
My bad, Ale 8.
Nick, is that a Kentucky product? It's a Kentucky product. It's in a green bottle. It's clear. There's a lot of stuff in it. Sugar, caffeine. There's a lot.
I'll try one. I'll try anything.
But it's going to be Ale 8 one. Ale as in A-M ale. Remember that product? It's a beer specially formulated just to drink in the morning for people that can't have coffee. It's a real product. There's commercials and everything. But anyway, I don't condone drinking coffee or any of that stuff. But anyway, wood people, and thank you for that.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't have to even get up.
Well, I got the number from you for the wood people quite a few years ago now.
Did
I tell you that I got all my chainsaw blades sharpened? Yes, I get them sharpened because it takes forever to do one. I like to pop a blade off and just keep working.
Yeah, we don't live at Packard Mill. What are we doing? think we can do all this stuff at once? You're wrong. We're busy. We have a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah.
We have met. So the year is. Where's this very late? Is this Nick? Would you say this is the latest Pump House session?
No, the one after this was.
2014 was. This was 2013.
Okay.
He had such a good time doing this that he decided to do one later.
Let's do some housekeeping here.
Okay.
I thanked you for putting the log on the fire. What I would like to also do is create Patreon page awareness.
Okay.
That's all I know.
Are you getting paid for this?
No, not in monetary units.
Okay. Me either. Neither. No, but nobody here working on this.
I mean,
is.
I'm getting paid in. I'm getting paid in vibes.
Abundance.
I feel like Scrooge McDuck over here in my vibe bin.
You're Scrooging yourself.
Right.
Patreon. It is a way for the people who watch our videos on YouTube and wherever else to subscribe and pay an amount of money that they are comfortable with to help us keep making these things and to keep making the videos, to keep making these shows. I also have to mention that last week, I didn't even say the title of our old time music live stream show, which is the Appalachian String In. We talked about it the last Tuesday of every month, not this month because of the holidays, but the last Tuesday of every month, we live stream an old time music jam session, and that's what it's supposed to feel like. A bunch of old time musicians around a couple mics jamming in this living room right where we're sitting. And I think that it's a great time. And we have an amazing host, Jessica Watson.
What a gem.
I mean, one of Knoxville's finest musicians and personalities. She is an amazing, amazing soul. They're just so blessed to even to know her, to let alone have her come and do what she does here.
She's unbelievably nice.
It is, yeah, unreal.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody around her. Think about one of her many bands, Legbeard.
Legbeard.
Mead and Daniel Kimbrough, both very kind. I gotta say, Mother's Daughter's Bread. Have you tried any of this? That Mead
No.
Armstrong.
No.
She plays many instruments, but on the Appalachian String In, you'll see her playing fiddle. But what you don't see is what's in the kitchen. She brings things that she's baked because that is another one of her passions, and she is incredibly talented at it. It is some of the best breads, some of the best cookies, some of the best pastries. I can't speak highly enough about the things that she makes. Incredible.
Excellent.
So if you're around Knoxville, check out Mother's Daughter's Breads. Sign up to her email list, and she will let you know when she's going to have these things for sale and where they're going to be around town, because she does pop-up stuff.
Quick question. Let's do a little role play here. I'm on the internet. I want to give you money.
Yes.
I'm here. I have my fingers out. I'm ready to do the make tapsy.
I was going to ask you how much money, but that's irrelevant. Whatever amount you want to give, you can sign up. We have different levels on Patreon.
Patreon.
Live&Breathing Patreon.
Okay.
The lowest level that we have, that wasn't correct. Not whatever you want, but $5 is the lowest tier, and it's $5 a month. We have different tiers. We're going to keep adding tiers. We're going to keep adding exclusive content just for the Patreon. There's a little there, but we just started this not too long ago.
Mm-hmm.
Cannot tell you how much it helps to pay the bills. The studio we're in, there's a mortgage, the lights. We all know what bills are. I don't need to get into that boring crap.
Bills.
If you can help us out, it will be.
Yeah.
I'm just so thankful, and will help us keep making this stuff.
Every bit helps. Every bit helps. Do you want to?
I don't know how you're feeling. We have this one video left, and I
Okay.
kind of want to make it another video too. And then I guess you were also going to do a song. I'm having a great time. Are we running out of time?
That's right. I was. I am. I'm still gonna do.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, I'm. Sorry. Yes. I don't like. I'm trying to phase out my yeah. You know, like some people, like you'll call like you say you're calling a home improvement warehouse that's orange, and it's like, hello, home improvement warehouse that's orange, and then the first thing a lot of people will say right there, and they'll go, yeah.
Yeah.
And so like I find myself doing it too. And it's like, yeah. So, and so it's like this conversation is already destroyed. You know, like it was like, well, yeah. So anyway, I'm trying to stop saying right. You know, we make a lot, we talk a lot, we've met, and we like to talk about how making declarative statements for the new year is an utter, like there's so many other things you can do that are a better use of your time than just like, well, you know, this year I'm gonna. It's like, like buying a gym membership. It's like if you go to the gym, like the first week of the new year is don't go to the gym week, because that's just going to be plugged up like a turlet with all these people making these things that they're not going to do. So it's just like, this is your week off from the gym. Like, you don't have to do it. But mine, since I love to make them so much, is just stop saying yeah so much. You got a non-committal New Year's declaration now that we've both said we hate them?
I'm not going to put it on like because it's New Year's, but I do have a list of things that I call it self-improvement, but it's not really that realistic. There's these things I say like a lot, and I know other people do too. Did we already? I think that was this on. Did we talk about this last episode?
I don't know. I can't tell if this is a conversation we've had or is a conversation that I have had inside. I'm just like, that's another one. I'm like, let's clean it up, folks. It's 2023. We're coming to you from the year 2023 here. If you're just tuning in,
it's not like that. It is that.
Right.
Like seriously.
It's like sometimes people will say it and it throws it off of what you're talking about. That was like 25 minutes ago. That was 25 minutes ago.
It's filler.
Right.
It's a cardboard
and all these hollow pronouns with zero antecedents, that really upsets me as well. So you can't just drop in somewhere and just start using pronouns. Like, it's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like,
they're not curse words. You can't just throw them in anywhere.
Like, I can't hear all those voices in your head. It's like, who knows? Like, please use the question inside your answer. And, the left lane is for passing.
I was just about to go there. I know I ended last episode with that, and this is something that I want to incorporate into every episode because it's not going to happen. I like to pretend that I'm going to make a change in the world. I'm going to save lives and traffic. I'm going to create less traffic. But really, it's going to cause me less stress. And I was thinking about this. I might even get more stress from this because people are still going to hang out in the left lane on the interstate. Especially, it seems, when they could get over to the right and let you pass. I've heard, and I don't want to spread lies, but I think that it is a law now in Tennessee that the left lane is for passing. Which means once you're done passing, you get over.
It's like, well, this is how. I'm like a left lane guy. It's like,
ooh, I'm about to. Ugh.
Right.
Say that to me off the highway. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
In the hot dog line.
And
see how that's made.
I don't know. I wish people would just pay a little bit more attention. But that's never going to happen. And I get it. And I'm not giving up on change in this world where I live, but I'm just being a little realistic because people are. Anyway, like I said, I'd like to just go back to that point that I just made and just move along. But really, like, I did it again. So next year, taking out the likes. Be sure to add your dislikes to this. I like when people just add dislike. It's like, I'm only giving this video 1 star because it's like, okay, guy, I get you. You have different interests. But, why can't we have cars that can pass other cars, and there's commercials for these cars that can pass other cars, and the commercial is a guy just sitting there behind the wheel, and it's talking about his robot car, and he's just like never looks up once. He's driving, it's probably on cruise control, more robot stuff. It gets up to a car, his car passes the other car, and he never looks up, knows he changes lanes, or does anything. Like, so that's possible. That is something that we can do. I was talking about assuming that most of the people are human beings watching this. But
is that even true?
Right. But why can't we make self-dimming headlights? There's like a person right here. It's like I'm driving a truck, and like for some reason it's cool to jack trucks up in the front and just drive around like where it looks like you're pulling a trailer at all times with your headlights. You know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about. There's no hydraulics involved. It's not like the Cadillac with like it's slammed in the back. And just...
Yeah. It's like they want to look like those cartoon bulldogs.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is a good look. I'm going to make this is a good look for my truck too, because it's a cartoon dog.
And then they get those things installed that are dragging in the back. Can you install these for me?
Yeah. Like, what's the equivalent? What's the equivalent to that? You know, like
That installation?
right on the other side of the plate.
I see some lines here that I'm approaching that I probably shouldn't cross.
Yeah, that does remind me of the Pump House at Pickathon. Do you know who these people are in this video?
No, I think nobody does.
The Mark Benevento.
Oh,
You were wanting to throw another one on there.
I thought that we were going to the dog.
Yeah, we can go.
Should we throw in an extra video? Nick, are you going to be upset?
I got it.
He's got it. Nick is on top of stuff.
Nick is on top of stuff. Thank you, Nick, for
This was a debate, and anybody who's watching, please chime in. We're looking for when the best time to air this is, what you guys want to see. We really want to interact more with all of you out there. I see some great people now. Now it's getting it's warming up in the chat box. We want to interact with y'all. Let's see. Thank you, Paul. Came for the music, staying for the chit chat. My wife says yes to the trash. What does that mean? Did I forget to take the trash out today?
No, wood people trash.
Wood people.
Wood people trash. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
yeah.
The wood people. I had a direction I was going. Oh, okay. Yes. So last week we talked about some other videos, and we've kind of shown some of them, and some of them we haven't shown. So I was in the air about introducing this one. We talked about Pure Mountain Angel, which we started with, the Truth and Salvage Co. This is one of the first videos, in my mind it is the first video that we recorded, edited, and released. And it is Dr. Dog, Nobody Knows Who You Are. And I remember showing this to Dr. Dog because they were playing in Knoxville, and we were at Morlock Music, which is no longer a music store. But Matt Morlock is still amazing, and I'm eager to have him on here as soon as possible. But we're in the shop, and we show him the video, and I had never been in this situation before, and I was really nervous and really sweating it. And their reaction, they were either really great actors or it was genuine, I don't know, but they really, really loved the video. And they missed one lyric. And so I know that and a lot of times that makes it a no-go. But the vibe and everything else is so cool. The song is on a record. The correct lyrics are out there. And maybe I shouldn't have even pointed out that he missed a lyric. Now I'm regretting even just talking. You should stick to like.
Nick, could you turn our microphones on during the video and we'll be like, here's the part that they messed up.
Like, here's where he messed up.
It's like, and look at these jerks. It's like, check out some bad stuff. It's like, they borrowed a bar of soap from me once and never returned it. What a bunch of jerks. But Dr. Dog, Dr. Dog has such an aesthetic. I think that someone told me that they broke up, which I think is true. But then I was talking about them 3 days ago because I love some dog.
Yes.
And they said, it's like, no, dude, they're playing Red Rocks. So I don't know. But Dr. Dog were the coolest. I mean, that's true or false?
My vote's true on that.
True.
So true.
Like any other group of people, it's like, like a lot of guys like, oh, well, there's the guy and he's wearing sunglasses and he's wearing skinny jeans and he's like, it's like, oh, he seems like he's really cool. It's like I don't want to talk to him. And it's about like Dr. Dog, and it's like unpretentious, look cool, are cool. You got screamy voice, you've got weirdy voice. That's what I call them. But I mean, they're just like anywhere they go. It's like unless they're around like Jeff Skunk Baxter, they are the coolest people in the room. It's like, and going back and like looking at this video, like they had an Epiphone Dot, this one show that I saw, and that's like. I don't want to explain what an Epiphone Dot is. Just look, and I'm not gonna say either because I hate when people say that. It's like, well, it's like Sumerian. That's the first civilizations. Look, they created their own fermented beverages. You don't believe me? It's like just tired of hearing that. But he had an Epiphone Dot, which is a semi-hollow body guitar, electric. And but he had a sticker on the front of it of a Fender Telecaster, just like cut out the pickups around it and just put the Telecaster sticker over the pickups of his Epiphone Dot, and it's like rad, just rad. And so he Scott has a guitar. In this video, it's like, hey, I like a message like outward. Here's my outgoing message. Like, I'm not the problem here. You know, it's like, and the bass, the head of the bass is like sticking out of the door.
Yeah.
It's like, you know,
Again, this is one of those that we crammed a lot of people into a tiny space
Yeah.
and somehow came out with something that I consider really unique and cool.
I love this band. I could not love this band anymore.
This, you know, I wanted to touch on, I never heard that they broke up. I heard that they had stopped touring. So that makes sense that they're having a show. I can also say, if you're not familiar with them, hopefully they do start touring again. But as far as like their albums go, they're solid from front to back. They care so much about that quality, their visual qualities, their stage performance, the stage, like how the stage looks. And that is such a hard thing to stand out in, especially when you do festivals and stuff, to be able to throw everything up in your changeover and present yourself in a unique, cool way and still like crush it. And their energy live, everything about them is just on fire. And like you mentioned, incredibly sweet people and just great hangs, and really miss bumping into those guys and the few times that we would.
They have Screamy and Weirdy, Toby and Scott respectively, have solo records out now, and I listened to them both last week, and just it doesn't matter what day. Like, nobody cares what day I listen to them, but I did listen to them, but not on the same day. But they have 2 solo records out, and Dee Toby Lehman, I think, is Screamy's artist name, Dee Toby Lehman. And,
Okay.
but Dee, like as in, you know, I guess Dr. Talk. But then it's Scott McMicken and the Ever Expanding, I think, is the name of his new outfit. And he has the guy from Paige Francis and Cotton Jones in that band. They're both different, and if you like Dr. Dog, you know, you're gonna like it. I mean, it's but you can hear like where the other one isn't, and you can hear where the other one isn't in like all the ways. It's like, okay, well, and then I don't know. It's just a really interesting listen. It's like, this is where the other guy stopped the other guy, and this is where the other guy would go without the balance of the check. Neither are wrong. They're just different. It's like, okay, this is where they would go, like undeterred. It's interesting. They're both
cool.
they're both very different
I'm gonna check
listens.
those out.
And Scott McMakin and the Ever Expanding, they have a record up there, and Toby Lehman has his I don't know. It's an EP or an album. I don't know. Excellent listens.
If anybody out there knows Dr. Dog, remind them of us, and we would love to record them again in any fashion that they want to bring to us.
Oh.
I mean, that's all I've got. I think that's a setup for this Nobody Knows Who You Are Dr. Dog video from Pickathon 2010 or 2009. Oh, I don't have a card for that because that kind of just threw it in.
Got it. I will, one minor caveat here. The video you're about to see is going to make you feel not cool, because these people are very cool. And with no further ado, Live and Breathing, Artist Picks, brings you Dr. Dog.
Boom.
Do you want to do Must Have Lost a Lot of Blood?
Yeah. Well, the farmer wakes
they came back together, and they came back as a 3-piece without the drummer. And we're just like, well, the drummer was never part of it. Did you know that the drummer was never part of Alabama?
No.
It was like a family band. It was
Right.
like,
Makes sense.
it was like, no, I was like, well, it seems like they just kicked him out. But we're back here live and breathing artist picks.
I'm Justin Glanville. This is Sam Quinn, the artist.
The artist this week. Glad to be back here. We just heard from a very cool Dr. Dog. Dr. Dog are very cool.
Indeed.
Did you like that guitar with all the stickies on it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That makes me think of another great band that, not that this guitar, it's a unique guitar kind of in that way, but this band, the Wood Brothers, are you familiar with them?
I've heard of them.
I like them a lot, but we have some recordings with them, and they still incorporate this into their live show, but they have a shitar. Excuse my language, but that's what they call it. I don't know that there's really strings on it. It's more of a percussion instrument, but he wears it as, if I recall correctly, he's like screwed bells and whistles and like little things that make sounds, and the percussionist plays on it like that.
Interesting.
It just made, my mind wanders.
Yeah, that's what it does, and I think that was one of the first reasons that's one of the things that endeared you to me when we met all those years ago, was the fact that your mind did wander and into such cozy corners to where it's held for just a moment before it just goes to other places. And but see, for me, Wood Brothers, like I run into the same not problem at all as I do, but the same predicament I do with the Gorillaz. Are you familiar with this group, the Gorillaz?
Yeah.
Right. So, and the same thing with Foo Fighters. And I don't know if you'd solve the puzzle here, but for me, the Gorillaz are still the side project of the guy from Blur, even though the Gorillaz are a much larger band than Blur ever was. And but still, to me, I guess it's the same way that I always see it with just bright red hair.
That's so interesting.
And it's the way that like people like my mom's age like still make their hair look the way that they made it look when they were like 25.
Yeah.
Like they're just like locked in, and so it's like it changes, but it's still timeless. And it's like it's just like they're stuck. They are not stuck in a negative way, but like that's just like where they are. And for me, like it's really the drummer from Nirvana. I don't know what Foo Fighter songs are about. I've never thought about it once. But I mean, like they're good songs. I mean, like they're whatever, they're grooving, they're rocking. I was just like nothing against them, and like, but my tastes wandered whenever that happened, and it's like, and I wasn't into that, and it's like. Much love and all the respect for wherever you are and doing what you want to do, and a lot of people like it, and but just like to me, like the Wood Brothers, it's the guy from Medeski, Martin, and Wood, like, and that was like a traveling acid jazz project in the '90s and early 2000s, what we call the aughts now.
I have two things to say. One of them, the Blur and Gorillaz, I hadn't thought about that in a very long time, but it made me think about when Blur, I guess, became popular and mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
And I was heavily into like Deftones and Limp Bizkit, which the album $3 Bill, y'all, when I found that album of Limp Bizkit, I was and still enjoy the heck out of that album. I was also a big Wu-Tang fan, so when Fred and Method Man got together, that made me very happy. I know that I've heard other pointed comments towards where that band went musically. I don't know. I try to not give the negativity any light. That $3 Bill, y'all. I know there's nothing else like it. I really love that album. Where I'm going with this is that's the kind of music where I was at. So the song that made Blur popular was so loud, and much like a Diarrhea Planet song, very short. So I get that album geared up. Like, man, this album's gonna rock. I don't know if you're familiar with that album. But
That's Blur, self-titled Blur, and the song you're talking about is Song 2. It's like,
Yeah.
woohoo.
yeah.
I got my head checked
Yeah.
by a jumbo jet.
Then it's all, from what I recall, the whole album's acoustic, or mostly. I think that I got that album and I listened to it once and was like, this is not the rock that I wanted out of it, and I may not have ever put it back on. And I need to go back and revisit that because now I feel silly.
Yeah, that's strange, and this is the, I believe, the work of like the same, I don't know, evil petroleum moguls or something like, like people at the root of all the problems in the world. But how a record company will, nothing professional, all personal record companies, but like the way that they will take, like that Joan Osborne record, like that was like a blues record, and then they found out, what if God was one of us? And it's like everybody bought the record, and it turned out to be like a blues record, and it's like yes, you sold a lot of records, yes, everybody skipped everything and just listened to that one song over and over, and it's like, is that a service? It's like, it's like leave it to the it's almost like it's a numbers game with these record companies. Like, it's, thank you, Nick. But at what cost to the artist? And it's like, so it's like, well, I would just do it myself. Like, I didn't want to do this song, and it's like they told me to do it, and so yes, it sold a bunch of records, and everybody's like, it says superlative statements like, oh, that's the only good thing on there. The rest of the album sucks. I hate this record. I hate them. I hate them personally.
Yeah.
I'm going to find out everything about them on the internet because that's available, and just talk about every single thing, how it's stupid.
I'm going to change my name, and I'm going to have the most bold statements ever.
Yeah. And it's like, then it's like, and that's like number 88, who hates Joan Osborne, is in for defense on the teams. Like, holding, hates Joan Osborne, number 88. Tertiary squad, Pinolated, Slytherin House, 8 points. But that's it stinks. But yeah, I mean, is Gorillaz a band or a group to you, or is it, or is, I don't know. I don't know, because I'm on oxygen right now because I'm an old man. Thank you. Your pity fuels me, and I use it. I use it to stay alive. But I wonder how people coming along into Foo Fighters, like, what is Nirvana to people who were born before or after 1992? Like, what is that? Like, are the Foo Fighters? There's like that a band that the guy from Foo Fighters was in. You know what I mean? Like, what was it like to watch Westerns and then like Color came along? And then like you're watching.
Talk about. I want to say that my wife, she teaches at UT, and I'm not going to mention the class. It was a very heavy class, or whatever. But there was this one thing where there was, how should I word this? Something was written by Kurt Cobain. And this was like 2-3 years ago that these kids had to read this and whatever. And she had to explain who Kurt Cobain was. Mm-hmm. And that kind of just like, I think it's similar to what you're saying. And just like, I just couldn't imagine not knowing. And then just keep it positive. But I just think that's, you live and you learn. And the color and shape, that album. Oh, this is one of the other things we were talking about. Dave Grohl, somebody who I've looked up to for a very long time. Color and Shape album, I wore out. And two things about that: Monkey Wrench. There's this. I don't know if you remember that song, but there's this one just like onslaught of just screaming lyrics where I don't know, he even takes a breath in it. And I remember being at a sandwich shop with my dad and his buddy, and that's on, and I'm listening to it, and I know all the words, and I'm like in my head, I'm like going, like following along, and my dad is like, "What in the hell is it? Who would listen to this?" It's one of those moments where I'm just like, that I like this band so much more now.
Uh-huh.
And I've made a lot of decisions in my life.
Uh-huh.
Most are not good decisions because my parents were like, "What is like? I don't like this," and that just gave me enough to be like, "It's
Right.
my new favorite thing."
Right. You hate avocados? I love them.
I love them. I love them.
I'm on an avocado diet, Dad.
right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dave Grohl. We've talked earlier. Some of us in here were talking about, you meet your heroes, and sometimes that's a bad thing because they're jerks or they're not they're not presenting themselves in that moment when you meet them on the pedestal that you've held them on your entire lives and whatnot. Mm-hmm. This was not one of those stories. We were playing this festival. I think it was Austin City Limits or something, and Foo Fighters were also playing. And when I say we, I mean the Avett Brothers, because I'm their sound man for concerts. Front of house audio engineer is the title. Anyways, and I see Dave Grohl, and naturally he's got a bunch of people around him talking to him. And so I'm like standing there. I'm like, man, if I get a chance, I just want to go shake his hand. And I don't. In my life, I have had a lot of people around that have been considered stars or famous, and that has never really struck me or made me uncomfortable. I don't really get starstruck, but I can say that my heart was beating, and I was really excited to say hi to Dave Grohl. Mm. And I stand there for maybe 5-10 minutes, and like the second I see, like, all right, when this guy goes, like there will be a window, and then somebody else would show up. I was like, all right, whatever. So I walked away. Then later in the day, I see him talking to one guy. I'm like, here's my moment. And I stand there for a minute, and this guy walks away, and I say, hey, Dave, I just want you to know that I'm a huge fan, and I really want to thank you for all the inspiration that you've given my life. I'm so thankful for your music and the work and the things that you've done. I just want to say thank you. And I shook his hand, and I smiled, and I was walking away. And then like a couple other people walked past me to like go talk to him, and I feel this pat on my back, and I turned around, and David had followed me a few steps, and he was like, looked me in the eyes, was like, thank you, and gave me a hug. And I was just like, this was amazing. It was an amazing moment. And then I just walked away, and I've met other people. I've had the pedestal. I've knocked people off the pedestal that I kept them on. I'm not going to get into that, but Dave Grohl is not one of those. And any bit of kindness that you ever see him portrayed on screen, that is, from my experience, who he was, and it was awesome. Anywho, man, we really digressed.
You were mentioning, I'm pointing up right now, but now I'm pointing laterally to you. We have met. But so when you were, this feeds into our next hot artist pick. My name's Samuel. This is my friend Justin. You're listening to liveandbreathing.com artist picks. This is 2023. And so you were saying when you were like 14 or 15, you were listening to some Limp Bizkit. Mm-hmm. Am I saying that correctly?
Probably.
Limp Bizkit.
I believe so.
So when I was around the same age, my buddy's dad, he had some at the time what was considered very out music, and so he gave me a copy of this cassette tape called Pure Guava by Ween, and it was silly. It was like a group made by a group that like these guys had come together when they were kids, and like kind of like Dr. Dog. From what they say, they didn't learn other people's material. They only made up their own music. And so like Dr. Dog's like, we just play our own music like we always have. We get together. And so Ween started making their own music, and just like that's all they ever did. I have seen a copy of, I have seen a video of them singing Sweet Child of Mine from like 1990 or like 1991. So like everything else with Ween, it's kind of not true or mostly forgotten. But anyway, so this, but very special to me, you know, this Ween band, and this guy in this Mark Benevento video that's coming up next. I was like, hold on a second, that is Dave Drywitz, like the bass player from Ween, and it's like because like he also plays with Ween, which is one of my favorite bands, which you know, like if you like it, you like it. If you don't, they're not really trying hard to win new fans, you know. And that's like you like it or you don't. And but so he's been the bass player for Ween for years, but he also plays in Joe Russo's Almost Dead, and all these other things. And so I was going through, and it's like I've not seen this Mark Benevento session at from Live and Breathing, and so I checked it out, and it was like, I'll be dang, mighty brown, and so it's just rocking. So I think we have a.
That's a humidifier. That was not my stomach.
Right, but anyway, let's.
Should we roll it?
Yeah.
I want to throw in one thing.
Please.
If I recall correctly, it was this year, but he had so much fun in the Pump House. I don't think it was the same day. Maybe it was. The late nights were late nights at this festival. He wanted to do a show up there outside the Pump House, and I don't remember what time it ended. I do remember the sheriff showing up and saying something like, "This needs to stop now." And I think that I probably tried to talk to him for a while, see how his day was going.
Yeah.
Extend the conversation as long as possible. Maybe try to get him to walk down the path and let's talk about some things. But he wasn't having that, and we had to shut it down pretty quickly after that. 4:30 a.m. I guess you got to do that. And it was very fun, and we recorded the whole thing. And this is not from that, but it is from a session that they did earlier in the Pump House. The drummer or percussionist, whatever you want to call him in this, the things that he threw together to get sounds in that little room, as you're about to see, are just so rad. And I can think of a few people from Kenny Malone to like Jamie Dix that like just like masters of filling all the drum space without drums. Like they come and they don't just set up a drum kit. They have like every little bell and a specific sound for different songs, and I absolutely love that. And this is a pretty cool jammy thing, as you're about to see, of things getting a hit that are not drums, but still fit it pretty well.
Yeah, it's like just, like the ghost vocals on this song.
Yeah.
Like it's just a far out tune. I love it.
Should we go into it?
Yeah, we're gonna come back with a live performance.
Oh, that's right. You have not told me the title of the song you will be performing.
Yeah, we'll get it later.
Okay,
We'll get it in post.
Well, guys, this episode 2 is wrapping up. This is our last video from our archives. It is Mark Benevento in 2013 playing at Pickathon, and the song is called "If I Get to See You at All." And then after this, we'll come back probably for minimal chit chat and you performing a song.
It's facts. You're tuned in to liveandbreathing.com. Artist picks.
Support us at Patreon. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Here comes our last performance. This is one of my dearest, dearest friends, Sam Quinn, performing his song Imminent Light. Sam, please. Takatawa.
This imminent light and crawls to my doorway in regular motion, either fast enough lose my attention as the night waxes still. It's imminent light on my doorway. This deafening quiet, a new moon on my shoulder. All these years they still find you in this chair next to mine. Like an old friend, you're always and never there. This deafening quiet in my kitchen. Say while on your way through the silvery loom, my liminal friend, where you return, I will be waiting. Follow your whisper. This world is a window with mostly predictable changes and lesser known characters hover around like bees. One last dress rehearsal, it's opening night again. These edges of night, these edges of night, these edges of night, between them I'm dreaming, between them I'm dreaming.
Well,
Justin, thanks for having me
Sam.
once again
thank you for being here.
here on the program. Pleasure to be here. Thanks everybody for tuning in.
Thank you,
Liveandbreathing.com, artist picks. My friend Justin.
my friend Sam.
Yeah. Thanks to Mike, Jess, and Daniel. and the driver of the spaceship, Mr. Nick Corrigan, in there behind the scenes
Absolutely.
for making everything possible today. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.